City with plenty of games to play, plenty of points still to gather, but it has ended in disappointment at the City ground. Nottingham Forest 1, City 0. Well, let's go back to the studio. Mark Crossley, Kit Symons and Natalie.
Thank you very much to Alistair Mann and to Michael Brown for the commentary today. So City have been beaten away at Forest today, 1-0. I'm still joined in the studio by Mark Crossley and by Kit Symons. Kit, how do you sum up the game?
It's not the birthday present I was after, that's for sure. It was a very cagey game throughout. It opened up a little bit on around 60 minutes, probably for about 10-15 minutes. It opened up a little bit, got reasonably exciting, but then sort of went back into a bit of a lull. But then, rather than Forest creating the goal, it was more City mistakes, really. It was a good ball from Hudson-Odoi, but from Gibbs-White initially, switched the play out to Hudson-Odoi, but then, Vardyol's got to get out and close him down a bit quicker, just backs off, allows him in, and then Edison will be disappointed to get beat at his near post. So it's not really something they've created. The game was probably going towards a 0-0. As we said, probably both teams would have been OK with that. I think City were probably pushing a little bit more, but he did make a brilliant save, Edison, though, earlier in the game. One of the saves of the season, Norm said, and I got to agree with him. But yeah, it wasn't a great game, low on quality, really. And like I say, just very, very cagey affair. Two teams that showed each other an awful lot of respect. But just disappointing. It was two sort of mistakes from City, really, that led to the goal.
So we're going to head back over now, pitch side to the City ground, where FG is joined by Michael Brown.
Yeah, full time from the City ground. Manchester City 1-0 losers on the afternoon. I mean, I think we'll start off by showing appreciation to our supporters, just like the players are over there.
Yeah, the players are coming over, but look at that support. Win or lose, everybody's always in, fantastic spirits and appreciation towards this team, towards the football club. They've seen highs and lows, some magnificent wins, some losses, but they're always here the same every single game. That'll hurt the team today. Yeah, absolutely. It seemed like one of those games that could have gone either way. It looked destined for a 0-0. Like you said, it'll definitely hurt that group of players, but I mean, they're still well in contention for where we are at the season in terms of we can still win the FA Cup, and of course top 4/5 is the goal towards the end of the season. Yeah, for sure. For me, it's looking at it now, it was always, can you get to second, FG? I felt we could have done that. Now it might be third, might be fourth, let's see. It's just about winning your next game. That's the approach. But you know what? We control possession, we move Forest around, we created some chances. Not enough today. You've got to give them credit defensively. They sat in, they waited, made it hard for us. And then that wonderful pass from Gibbs-White opened up the whole game. And then that little shot like near post was disappointing. We tried to react, we tried to create, but on the day today, we didn't do enough, did we, to trouble a goalkeeper? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had a chance at the end with Kovacic there on the half volley from the edge of the area, but it was a tough afternoon. But afternoons like these, they're going to hurt us as a club. But we've been fantastic over the last few years, and you have to give credit to Forest. We can barely hear each other. That's how much it means to them today. It's a massive result against the team that have won 4 Premier League titles in a row. I mean, it's looking like we're trying to get in the top 4 this year, and I'm still confident that we can do it. Yeah, but you look at the determination from teams to beat Manchester City. They support like they've won the Premier League today because it's a big one for them, but it's all about how we react. What are we to do to make us more consistent, to make us better week in, week out? Because we come and we show a level, then we slightly fall, then we keep coming back. But we've got to change side again, haven't we? It was very attacking, it was very sort of ambitious. Our backline's been struggling, we've got lots of injuries also. But, we keep building, we keep going on. We've got a manager who understands everything about football, and the team will get back on the training ground and say, right, how do we win the next game? Yeah, it seems hard at the minute to envision positivity, but one thing's for certain, like you said, we've got the best manager in the world, we've got a squad on the rebuild now, and we've got exciting times ahead. So we'll head back to the studio. Once again, Kit, happy birthday. Sorry we couldn't get the 3 points for you. Brownie, thank you very much, and thank you to everyone who's watched.
Thank you so much to FG and to Michael Brown and to all the City fans that travelled to Nottingham today. Thank you for your incredible support. Do get home safe as well. So City have been beaten 1-0 on the day. Mark, what was your assessment of that game?
Well, from Forest, you know what you're going to get. Exactly, game plan. You have to give credit to them because we knew that City would have most of the possession. Michael Brown's just hit the nail on the head. Our goalkeeper wasn't troubled enough at all to win a game of football. But Forest got the tactics right. You have to say that. And I must say, in the second half, I thought they looked very, very dangerous on the break as the game went on. It opened up in the last half hour. We spoke about the goalkeeper making probably what, as a goalkeeper, looking at it, is world class. And you look for important saves at important times in games. But unfortunately, we get judged on when we make mistakes, and it'll be a long journey back for Ederson tonight to Manchester, because he'll know that he probably should have done a little bit better with the goal.
Let's have a chat about those two saves then. The world-class save that you mentioned, you immediately cooed about it. I was like, I need to see that again. And when we saw it from the angle back from behind the net, there were so many bodies in front of him. I forget the Forest player that took the shot. And I said to you, how was he even seeing that behind all those bodies? Because, I mean, it was really instinctive. Yeah,
it was Hudson-Odoi actually, and he's got a knack of doing that little curler. But when you look at it from behind the balls, behind the goals, that you appreciate, having played in goal, where that ball come from. He didn't see it till the right last minute, and the save he made with strong fingers, strong hand. Probably only I know how actually good that was. It was world class, and that's why I shouted save of the season. But unfortunately, the second one, he will know that he probably should have done better from the same player.
So for the world-class save, when you're training, when you're coaching, do you often have players taking shots when another player's sort of in that sort of congested area, so that you are giving the keeper not a lot to see?
Absolutely. You put mannequins and cones in front of you, and you'll get coaches bending the balls around the mannequins. A lot of the time you'll get deflections. That's why when keepers make saves from deflections, it's even better, because there's less reaction time. That save was... You won't better that this season as a save. It's easy for a goalkeeper when it's around his mid-height. Well, not easy, but it's easy to make saves. The ones down there that come past players and through players and deflect, them's when you know that you're earning your core as a keeper.
What about his positioning in terms of, because obviously where he is to sort of the slight left of the goal, it makes it easier. It's easier because he's on the right side when he takes the dive. How important is a keeper's positioning in those situations?
Well, if you probably look back at that, he'll be low, he'll be down, a lot of weight will be coming from his thighs, because he's going to have to get a spring at some stage, so he'll be low. He'll be looking to get a sight of the ball. On that occasion, he wouldn't have had a sight of the ball until it actually come past the player. The deepest player was probably 8-9 yards out. So from 8-9 yards out to the goalkeeper's position, 2 yards off his line, you've got 6 yards to react, which is minimal amount of time to react. So that's why it was such a good save.
So that was the great save. Let's talk about the goal now. First of all, Kit, let's break it down from the defender's point of view, because it was a brilliant, real crossfield ball that Hudson-Odoi picked up really well, but you were immediately shouting about the defence. Can you explain to us how you think we could have done better?
Just suddenly, it was a great ball initially, out to Hudson-Odoi, and but just Vardiol, like Josko, he seemed to get out there as quickly as you can. And suddenly it's late on in the game, and he suddenly looked a bit tired getting across there, and he never really got out to the ball. He just got into the box and let the player come onto him, and then backed off a little bit, rather than trying to. And it's so difficult. He's worked his socks off, and it's like I say, last 4-5 minutes of the game, whatever. But that's where you've really got to dig in and try and get out and engage. Because they've done well. City had defended really well and stopped the two wide players getting crosses in, getting much joy at all in the game. But on this one occasion, just when it really mattered, we didn't get out and engage them far enough away. We want to try and engage the player as far away from our goal as possible. Mm-hmm. If you're backing off, they're obviously coming closer and closer to our goal. So we want to get out there quick, engage them, but we didn't. But then, even then, like I say, it was a shot at the near post, which, as Norm says, Ederson will be disappointed with. Keepers hate getting beat at your near post, no matter what, even a deflection or anything. And I think there was a slight deflection maybe on it. But to get beat at your near post is a not nice for a goalkeeper when you sort of blame yourselves for them, don't you?
No, but it does. It comes from the defender not getting out there quick enough. The last thing you want, especially me in goal as well, I would be screaming at that defender to get out there to the player. Don't let him get in the box, because then he becomes favourite. You can't tackle in the box. So you've got to get out there before he actually approaches into the penalty area, and then your other players come across to cover that. It was just a little bit lethargic getting out to Hudson-Odoi, and he eventually got in the box, and then you can't touch him, and then the goalkeeper should make the save. So it's a category of errors, really. Is it another one of those horrible football cliches when people say that a keeper should never be beat at their near post? No, it depends on the pace of the ball and how close they are. But on that occasion, that is getting beat at the near post. At its worst, really, to be honest. And he was actually there. I think what happened, it just went underneath his hand there rather than his hand being behind the ball. Whether it was a case his eye wasn't on the ball. I thought it might have deflected at first, but I think it's an error at the end of the day. And I do have to say, I think he's probably, for me, the best keeper around. Thank you. Right, let's have a quick refresh ourselves of the Premier League table. Of course, we were the early kick-off today. There is other kick-offs today at 3 o'clock. Everybody plays this weekend. So that 3 points for Nottingham Forest basically opens up a little gap between them and us. So you'll see the table coming up on your screen now. There you go. So Forest, they're sitting 51, we are on 47. In terms of the other fixtures that are taking place today, the teams that are around us, I mean, you'll be looking out for Chelsea, that's tomorrow. Chelsea are at home to Leicester tomorrow. For Newcastle as well, of course, it's let's have a look at the fixtures. Monday night away at West Ham for Newcastle. And then for Bournemouth, they also play tomorrow. They're away at Spurs as well. So it's a bit of a tight, as we said before, very tight in that table. You'll be happy, Mark, with that gap for City between Forest and City. For us, though, Kit, I'm nervously looking over our shoulder.
Well, it will be, but I'm still quite happy sticking with my City will finish third, Forest fourth. I'm still disappointed today, without a doubt. We deserved a point out of it. Really, it looked like a 0-0 game all the way. Didn't get it, so we'll be disappointed with that. But I still think we'll go and get that third spot. I sincerely hope so. And of course, it's not long now. We pick ourselves back up again and we'll go again. City playing at home next Saturday against Brighton, Premier League, 3 p.m. kickoff. My absolute favourite Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoffs. Brighton on a really good run of form at the minute. They beat Bournemouth 2-1 in their last game. Before that, it was a 4-0 victory over Southampton. Before that, it was a 3-0 victory over Chelsea. However, we talked earlier about the crazy Premier League season. If you just jump back to the 1st of February, they lost 7-0 to Forest. So I wonder what Brighton's going to show up. But in terms of Brighton, another one of those teams, Mark, that's having a really good season. They are, yeah, and they do it year in, year out. All comes through the basis of the club, how they've built the club, and signing players that a lot of us have never heard of, and they've just gone from strength to strength. Good team. The 7-0 was just a one-off, but they're in good form. So another dangerous team that we'll be maybe looking at one of those places for a European place. I'm hoping maybe it wasn't a one-off, Mark. It probably was a one-off, but, it'd be nice if it wasn't a one-off and it happened again next Saturday at home. Let's hope so. I think I'm looking at the league there. I think the teams underneath would enjoy that result because it's going to keep the league going closer and closer. If City would have won today, I think they would have kicked on, and then you're looking at that fourth position. Now it's opened it all up again for that fourth position, because you'd still expect City to get that third position, but Forest have just moved 3 points away, so teams underneath would have wanted a City win or a draw today. Forest will be looking up now because, of course, Arsenal play tomorrow against Manchester United. So you might be hoping for a Manchester United performance there, Mark. In terms of Brighton, they play at 3 o'clock today, Kit, against Fulham, of course, your former club. What have you made of them this season? Yeah, again, they've done really well. Coming to the game next weekend, invited us from the Ex-Players Association, so it'd be good to see Lakey, we saw on the video earlier. So I'm looking forward to that, being in the Tunnel Club watching the game, so that'll be great experience, and looking forward to a good game. They've done really well, Brighton. Again, overall, a really very well run football club. They've recruited very well, and they're an exciting team to watch as well as, like I say, the results. They picked up some good results, but they play good, attractive football as well, I think, and they're a joy to watch, certainly. So I think I'm looking forward to a good game next weekend.
And then another new manager, of course, for Brighton as well. Hertzler has been really well praised this season. What have you made of him as a manager?
Yeah, done really well. I mean, he came in. He's obviously quite lively on the touchline, and he's had a few sort of slap wrists about that. But he's very passionate, and he looks like he's done a really, really good job there. You know, he's got his team, like I say, playing really attractive, free-flowing, attacking football, and picking up results as well. So, you know, it's one thing having that open, attractive style of play, but you've got to get the points on the board as well, and they've combined the two pretty well. So he's done a great job.
Brighton beat us in the reverse leg, Mark, 2-1. But back at home at the Etihad Stadium, it's a different kettle of fish, and it's going to be so important for the crowd next week and, of course, the team to perform back at home.
It won't happen next week. City will run out winners next week. Don't worry about that. So there's a positive one to finish on, because I think City will beat Brighton next week, and then the top 4, maybe we can all go into Europe next year, eh?
I like that, yes. We're all friends around here, Mark. We're totally happy to go in the top 4 if it means you're in the top 4 as well. We're good with that.
Perfect.
We will deal on that. Thank you. And of course, next Saturday is a really big day for the club as well. It is a busy, busy day because the men take on Brighton at 3 p.m. But also, it is the first of 4 successive games for our women's team against Chelsea. They'll play them in the WSL, 2 legs in the Champions League, and a repeat of the 2022 final, League Cup final, in which City won. So Chelsea are still unbeaten in the WSL, but that means nothing when it comes to a cup final. So join us if you're not going to the cup final on Matchday Live. We're on air at 11:10. FG's in for a prop. Hey, we're making him work next week, which we don't often do. FG's having a busy day next week. He's going to be joined by Tony Duggan and by Steve Howie for this double header. The kick-off for the cup final at Pride Park, 12:15. You'll get live commentary on the City app with Nick Walsh and with Karen Bardsley. And then following that, of course, then you'll get the pre-match build-up for the men taking on Brighton. So Matchday Live is the place for you to be next Saturday. So thank you. Thank you for joining us today. The sun is shining, but honestly, at the minute, it feels pretty dim in here after that 1-0 defeat. Mark, thank you very much for joining us. We do hope you'll come back again.
Thanks for having us, yeah. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Kit, as always. What's the birthday plans now?
Just back and have a nice bite to eat, hopefully. That's the plan.
I hope someone in your family's got you a present.
I'll find out when I get home. I left very early this morning, so I didn't see anyone, so we'll see.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much all for joining us. Now, you may not have realised, but it is now just 98 days until the start of the Club World Cup. City are going to be there in the group stage. They're going to be playing Wydad, Al Ain and Juventus in the group stages. So 98 days for me to swat up on those teams and make sure I'm an expert by the time we get there to talking about them.
Good luck with that one.
But in the meantime, here's a little bit of a something to whet your appetite. We'll see you next Saturday for the big double header.
A new chapter in world football begins. For the first time in history, 32 clubs, the best of their nations, from every continent, together on the global stage. The giants of today meet the legends of tomorrow, where the promise of glory is within all of their grasp. This is more than just a tournament. It's a test of legacy. An arena for heroes. A battle for greatness. For football's ultimate club crown. The passion. The drama. The spirit. Moments that will be forged in time, forever. The world is watching. FIFA Club World Cup. The countdown starts now.